Well, I'm Cassandra Duffill and I'm on the Gold Coast in Australia. I'm a business and marketing coach for health and wellness practitioners. And for the past 8 or so years, I've also run a successful naturopathic practice because I'm also a qualified naturopath. But when I first came into boot camp, I was facing a challenge of transition because I was at a point in my business life where I had a successful business, but my heart really wasn't in it anymore. And I was wanting to move into my marketing business full time. But it was really a struggle because of all the doubts. When I was running a clinic that was successful, it was turning over 35, 40,000 a month, and it was reliable. Yet I wanted to move away from it. So there was a lot of doubts, a lot of money blocks came up for me, and I knew that I needed some help. I knew that this was a lot to try and step through. And that's when I thought that boot camp would be the right place for me to be able to get that community and that support and that help to move through those money blocks. Well, Money Bootcamp was a different time because obviously that was just a couple of years ago. So I'd already used Denise's work, her teachings from her book and her different podcasts, and I'd seen her at a few conferences as well. And, I'd already built my naturopathic practice, in all honesty, following those principles, the principles from her first book, from Lucky Bee. I actually started my naturopathic clinic, way back in 2014. And at the time that happened, it was a really stressful time for me. I had just become qualified as a naturopath. I all of a sudden ended up divorced, and that came really out of left field. I was a solo parent. I had 2 kids under 6, and my ex left with everything, and I was left with $12 in my bank. And that's when I had to sort of hit the ground running and sort of make something of myself. I had 2 children relying on me. So that's when I got into Denise's first book and started working on the money story and the money blocks. And I have to say that was really integral to me putting the pieces together to be able to move forward. It was interesting at that time where all of a sudden I became a single parent. Without meaning to, I fell into a money story I didn't even know I had, of what a single parent looked like, how their life was, the challenges that they faced. And I realized that wasn't what I wanted my life to be. So I started my business, my naturopathic practice. And the first month, I still remember really clearly, I made a whole $458 that first month in business. And I can't tell you how excited I was with that, because that was my money. I made that by myself from my business. I was over the moon, and then from there, I started with goals of $5,000 months and $10,000 months. And it was interesting that in the back of my mind, without meaning to, I had a goal running that was to surpass my ex-husband's salary. And he was quite highly paid in the corporate world. And this was always running in the back of my mind, I've got to surpass his salary. And I did that. By the end of year 2, I'd hit his salary, which was just over $250,000. Being in business for yourself, it's really lonely. And I came from corporate. I used to work in marketing for big corporate brands. I came from McDonald's and Vodafone, Toyota, those big brands. And that's a team environment. There's always a big group of people. When you come to be an entrepreneur, you're on your own. And I used to find it really lonely. There's no one to talk to, rant with, share with. And particularly when it comes to things like money and finances, women traditionally, we're not allowed to mention those things. We're not allowed to talk about them. It's not something you'd share very often. So having a space like boot camp where I could share and collaborate and talk about ideas and things with other women, and to be able to hop in there too and go, gosh, guys, I'm having a really bad day. This just happened, or this money block's just come up for me. What should I do about it? And within 10 minutes, you've got 60 odd comments on your question with great ideas. And then Denise is always jumping in, with her helpful bits and pieces and reminding you to tap it out, which is always fun. So, that was what it was for me. It was about getting the community. And I knew just from doing the work from her book all those years ago, how quickly I can move. I knew that if I had real live people and the support of the community, that I could make this new business move even more quickly. So that was the whole point. I looked at boot camp a couple of years probably before I actually took the jump and before I actually joined. And I think I was a little bit hesitant about, the investment, and not from a financial point of view, but more what I would develop from it. because I did feel like I'd come pretty far. But bootcamp was a whole other level of delving into myself, my money blocks, my story, and unpacking that on a whole other level that I hadn't done yet, which was awesome. I was also hesitant about the time. I was running a clinic that was turning over 40,000 a month. I was doing 30, 40 clients a week. It was really, really exhausting. So I was hesitant about the time factor as well. So that's the couple of things that put me off. And as I said, for me, the thing that pushed me over the edge was when I realized I needed to transition my business in my career, and I knew I needed a little bit more support for that. So look, if someone's looking at joining bootcamp, I would have to say to have a look at what it is you're trying to achieve from it, because there are a lot of mentors and coaches out there that can teach you a number of pieces of the business puzzle, but there really is no one out there talking about money in the real way that Denise does. Yes, there might be people talking about mindset, but no one else is really helping you unpack and uncover your blocks and clear them in a way that we do through bootcamp. The other thing about bootcamp is I can guarantee you there is no other community out there like bootcamp. There is no other place where you are so safe to share those really intimate parts about your finances and your worries. Like you can in the bootcamp community. It's a still vault where there's nothing but support. Every time you post there is someone who's been through it, who understands it, who's got some help for you. So I think if you're really looking to up-level your income in your business, you need something like bootcamp to be able to take you there, because if you can't get over your money blocks, you can't get forward. You'll continue to plateau, and you're just not going to grow the way that your business could. So I think if someone's thinking about bootcamp, they need to have a think about why they might need bootcamp. And if they need a community and that support, I definitely think it's a place for it.